Welcome in, I'm Artris, and in this video we're going to be going over Vivi, a leader from OP04. Now that OP07 has come out, there have been a fair amount of pieces of support over the past couple of sets that I think give Vivi enough strength to make it a very viable leader in OP07. Now, I know that that sounds very strange because Vivi, if you're unfamiliar, is a leader that cannot attack in red and blue. However, the leader effect is activate main once per turn, you may pay to Dawn, and then you draw one card and up to one of your characters gains rush during this turn. So, basically what you're trying to do with this leader is control the board as much as possible, drawing a lot of cards in the early game and getting to 10 Dawn and playing some big bombs so that your field is very hard for your opponent to deal with. But in the meantime, you're trying to mitigate as much damage as possible and clear the board to the best of your ability. But before we go over the deck list, if you find anything in this video useful or informative, please make sure to drop a like and a sub. It helps out the channel immensely. Additionally, if you'd like to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments, make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description below. Would love to have you as part of the community. So going over the deck list, this is a deck list that is based off of a deck list that has actually topped a flagship in Japan. So flagship, if you're unfamiliar, are some of the smaller, like a store regional that we just recently got, where there's like, I think 64 players. And I believe Vivi ended up getting into the top 8 or even winning it by chance. It's a leader that a lot of people sleep on for sure. But what we have in our deck list here are 4 Otamas. This is, I think, your pretty standard red 2K. I think in this deck it has a little bit less utility than maybe in other decks, but it does have good synergy with our 5-cost Marco. So we're running 3 Marcos here. This is a your turn on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less, and on KO you may trash one event card from your hand, play this character from the trash as rested. This card is really strong against decks like Lucci because Lucci will try to KO this, and it's very sticky because you are running 18 events in this deck. So if you happen to have this thing KO'd, you can always just bring it back by trashing one of your events. And like I said, it synergizes with Otama, so you can minus something by 2,000 power and then play the Marco to pop it, which is really nice. Next, we're running 2 of the Super Spot Build Duck Squad. This is a 2K counter. There have been times where I will throw it down and swing with it very early on and then bring it back to hand if I need to clear like a Searcher or something like that. For instance, if somebody throws down like a Momo or a Bonney, you can just throw this down and get rid of it, and it comes back to your hand at the end of the turn. This is one of the big bombs of the deck. We are running the 10-cost Shanks. We're running 4 of them, and this is on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 10,000 power or less. So this pretty much takes care of everything in the game other than itself, other than 10-cost Big Mom, other than the 10-cost Kaidos. I'm probably forgetting a few, but for the most part, it takes care of pretty much everything on the field. It answers, I think, everything in Enel's deck. For instance, the top end there is Ace being 10,000 power. So Shanks answers pretty much anything that Enel or any yellow deck wants to throw down, obviously barring Big Mom there. Then we're running 2 Shiraya. I think this is mostly for the black-yellow Luffy and even the Newgate matchups, if Newgate is even ran in 07, but mostly for the black-yellow Luffy matchup. Although I will say you're not going to get Luffy down to 0 life because you're not really attacking them. You will be able to kind of stay at a healthy life total for them and for you. And Shiraya, if they do get to that threshold of 0 life and start hitting you for 9,000, Shiraya is good for that protection there. Then we're running through Baccarat, a new addition from OP07. This is a blocker, and on opponent's attack, once per turn, you may trash one card from your hand, give up to one of your leader or characters, plus 2,000 power during this battle. So we do have a fair amount of duds in this deck, and so Baccarat, if it is on the field, can use the ability to essentially have a 2K for one of these dead bodies in your hand. So that's a really nice effect. This is also a really good blocker against Law because Law can't you just get rid of it. They have to use a reducer for it. Same thing with Shiraya. They have to use a reducer in order to get these 2 off the field. So these are really good blockers in that regard. Against Lucci, it's probably not very smart to throw this down because it probably won't last very long. We're running 1 ulti. This is an on play if your leader is multicolored. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 to your hand. Then place the rest in any order on the top or bottom of your deck. So you can grab anything in the top 3. If you want, you can keep them on the top and then use your leader ability to give ulti rush and then draw another card that you know is coming your way. So ulti is definitely good in a pinch if you're looking for something. For the most part, though, it is a one-up, so you're not going to come across it very often, but for the most part, you don't really need ulti in this deck. Then we're running 2 Borsalino. I believe that the original list ran maybe a few more, but I find that Borsalino is a little bit weird. A 7 cost that gets rid of a 4 cost or lower. Obviously really good in old Sakazuki, rest in peace, but it's one of those where you don't really have any cost reduction in red. Same thing with blue, so it just at a base level gets rid of a 4 cost. There are a fair amount of 4 costs that you would like to get rid of. Blockers are always very good to get rid of as well. So there are certain situations where Borsalino, you're not upset to see it, but I'm only running 2 because if I ran 4, I feel like I'd run into too many of them, and late game, it doesn't really do you much good if your opponent has 5 costs or higher on the field, and you just kind of like don't have much to do with the Borsalino other than just play it down. Then I'm running 2 of the 10 cost draw Kaido. This is if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, draw 4 cards. So this is a card that I'm not running 4 of because, well, Vivi doesn't attack, so getting your opponent down to 3 life can be a little bit of a challenge, but it's one of those that you hold on to once you get a Shanks, maybe a Hancock established on the field, and then have chipped away a couple times at their life. The Kaido comes down and allows you to draw 4, which you've been drawing the entire game, so your hand at that point will probably be pretty hefty. If not, maybe you've replenished the things that you've gotten rid of it. So 2 makes sense here. I think if you run more, just be aware that you might not get the effect off, and it could be an awkward card in hand once you get to 10 Dawn. I'm running 2 Gion, a 2K counter. So if you notice with the 2K counters, they're kind of just like all over the place, just testing different things out. The Gion here is very good against like Nami, for instance. It's a your turn once per turn. When your opponent activates an event, your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. So Nami's really good for this card specifically to have on the field. And also it is a 5K body. So if you are so desperate, you can throw this down and give it rush and get a swing in with Gion. So that's nice. Then I'm running 3 Pudding. Pudding is a great card to have in blue. A lot of times opponents will hoard their hands, especially if you're looking at like Enel. Enel will definitely have a giant hand of like 9 to 10 cards sometimes. And this is an on-play. Your opponent returns all of their hand cards to their deck and shuffles their deck. Then your opponent draws 5 cards. So this, of course, is really good because of that. I'm running 3. You could run 4. I feel like I see it. I only need to see 1 really in a game for me to really want to use the effect. I don't think you're going to be chaining puddings. It doesn't really make sense to do so. You really just need 1 at an opportune time for it to be really good. So 3 will definitely guarantee you most of the time you'll come across it. Then we're running a new addition from OP07, Boa Hancock, a 6 cost, 8,000 power body. I think this is one of the cards that Vivi was definitely missing. It's an on-play. Up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of their next turn. Then place up to 1 cost 1 or less character on the bottom of its owner's deck. So Hancock, what you can do on 8 Dawn is play this down, freeze something on the opponent's side of the field, probably a big body, and then give it rush and swing in and possibly take out a smaller body that has swung into you the previous turn. Also, you can get rid of like any searchers on the field with the secondary effect, bottom decking a 1 cost or less character. So Hancock is really good here because what you can do is on 8 Dawn, like I said, give a rush, stall for a turn, and then you follow up. Then you follow up with the thing that you froze with the Shanks to KO it, or if you want, you can do it on another character that your opponent might have played the turn after. So this gives you a lot of tempo and gives you a big body that's hard to remove. Your opponent likely doesn't have an answer immediately. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This will be answered though by like Gravity Blade, so keep that in mind. It is a 6 cost body. 6 cost, 8,000 power is really, really good though. Then for events, I'm running 4 Radical Beam. If you're in red, it makes the most sense to do so. I kind of take my life pretty liberally when I'm playing this deck. I will usually take the first 2 for the most part. Unless I'm going against blue, then I kind of have to keep in mind about the puddings. But you're probably going to be going down to 2 at some point because you will have to have a lot of aggression coming your way, and you probably aren't able to return it. So Radical Beam going down to 2 life gives you a 1 cost, 4,000 power event, counter event there. So that's really nice to have. One of the best counter events in the game, in my opinion. Then we're running 4 Bad Manners Kit Course, a 0 cost event that basically just says trash a card from your hand, and then one of your leader or characters gains plus 3,000 power during the battle. So you are running, like I said earlier, you're running a fair amount of duds. So this will allow you to, if you're out of Dawn, like on your 10 Dawn turn, you play to Shanks, you can use this to kind of stay alive and hopefully stay healthy with this. Then we're running Happiness Punch. This is a 1 cost event that is a counter event that says give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 2,000 power for the turn. Then if your leader is active, which Vivi is going to be active most of the time, I wouldn't see why it would be tapped. Give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 1,000 power for the turn. So you can essentially use this as like a guard point, or you can split it up if your opponent swings like 6 with one thing and you're expecting a 5 to come your way. You can go -2 to the 6 and then -1 preemptively to the 5 cost, to the 5,000 power swing that will be coming your way. So stopping 2 swings with 1 counter event. Really strong there. Then we're running more zero-cost events, Gum Gum Rain. This is a blue zero-cost event. You may trash 1 card from your hand and then obviously give your leader or character plus 3,000 power during this battle. Because this trigger effect is essentially the same thing as using the counter event. And then this one might come in handy if you want to return something that might swing lethal at you, but for the most part, it's not going to come up. However, this card, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, which we're running 4 of, is good in both the main and then also the trigger. So place up to 2 cost 6 or less characters in any order on the bottom of the owner's deck. Great against Black Yellow Luffy. Great against like Red Purple Law, which will throw out a bunch of bodies against you. This will help equalize the board a little bit and kind of turn things hopefully back into your favor at that point. And the trigger is place up to 1 cost 5 or less character on the bottom of its owner's deck. So if you don't want to spend 7 on the next turn when you get this, you can always just use the trigger and bottom deck something on the opponent's side of the field for free. So that's very nice. So yeah, I think this deck has a lot of potential. I think that you're drawing a bunch, you're kind of playing the mitigate as much damage as possible game, and then hopefully get a couple of bodies like Hancock, Shanks, and then the Kaido out on the field, and kind of just chip away at your opponent's life towards the end game where they don't have a lot of resources to handle some of these bigger bodies. So yeah, let's take it into Sim and see how it does. Okay, against Law, we're going to go first against them. We don't really have anything to do this opening turn. We do have the Gravity Blade, which is really nice, and then the Raise Max we have to not really care about because, well, what are they going to do with it? We'll be able to get rid of the Raise Max next turn with the Marco. And then afterwards, they're likely going to get rid of the Marco, and then we can go Gravity Blade and then get rid of the 2 bodies that they put down. Go here to here and then pass. Now, I expect this next turn for them to have another, like a Gordon or another Raise Max, use it on the Marco, get rid of the Marco, and then have 2 more bodies on the field, which will be really annoying, of course, but we have to do the best we can with it. We just will have to probably take 1 and then maybe counter out of the second attack. So we're probably not going to really use a pudding here, so I think it's fine to counter out. And I think it's okay to take this next hit here. Because also, if they do have Law, then we're not going to get hit with the Law. Yeah, exactly what I thought. And this is fine. We'll take that. Do I care about the Shariah? I don't think I care about the Shariah, to be honest. I think it's fine to just go ahead and do this. Get rid of the 2 things that will attack me. And then Shariah being a blocker at 4, I guess 5 technically. We can just get rid of it with the Hancock. Like, next turn, what we can do is play Hancock. If they have, like, a Raise Max or a Gordon on the field, get rid of it. Okay, this is good. I think what we can do here is go boom, boom. Don't know if they'll have another rush unit. They will not. Okay. Let's go here. And then swing in to the Shariah. And also, we'll have 1 Dawn up for Happiness Punch, which is really nice. I actually think it'd be better to go back-to-back Boas. Hopefully they just go like 6 on the Sanji. Or ideally they just go at... they're going straight here. Okay. That's fine. We'll protect it. I think that's probably our best bet here. We'll go 6 there. Wow, they decided to counter out of that. That's insane. Okay. We'll go another 8 to 6. They cannot defend that one for sure. They're not going to be able to swing with the kid. And then this turn, I hope that they don't have any rush units. They might just go like really hard at one of the Hancocks. Pause. So yeah, that's probably their plan here. They're at 9 Dawn. They haven't really been using their leader effect because they haven't really had an opportunity to use the leader effect. Yeah. I figured as much. We'll go 8. Get rid of this guy and then pass. Our puddings are pretty useless because they're at 3. So we're just going to use them for counter. This is probably another situation where they might just go like another, what, 14 or so at the Hancock. If they decide to do so, so be it. Oh, that's fine. Kaido's actually pretty decent here as well. They might go... I could see a world where they go, like, they have Kid and Killer. Yeah. Sure. Now we can just get rid of their stuff. And pass. Now, we are in a really weird spot here. We have, these 10 costs are not really good against Law, unfortunately. So we have to be very careful, of course. This signals to me like another Kid and Killer. They're just like going really, really hard at face. So I would imagine this is like a Kid and Killer. If they go at one of the bodies, because they know that they can't like finish the game, that's actually really good for us. Okay. That's fine. We might be able to close the game out here, actually, if we do it correctly. I think we can go 8. That's a guaranteed hit. We can go another. Give rush. Go 9. It's another guaranteed hit. Go 12. And then 13 to finish it out. Yeah. That's all she wrote. I think that they played fine. I know that they were pretty aggressive towards the end, and that's probably because they were running out of gas. They didn't see any Reijus, which was good for us, because them having a low hand size, we could really take advantage of. And then, of course, Shanks is not really advisable to play in this matchup, but if you do get the opportunity to throw one down because they might have a small board, throw it down, you know. I think Kaido's actually really good here to get the refuel. We were able to stay alive because of it, so yeah. Against Bonney, I think I want to see Gravity Blade if I can. Porcelain was okay. This hand was just okay. So we mulligan for the same exact hand. All right, well, I guess we have to deal with it. This is fine. This is much better. Getting a couple of top-end pieces, or at least something to slow down their aggression is really nice. We will take this. 2 Shanks is really good for us. 2 Boas are really good for us as well. So we're happy to see that. It might be a little bit too much, to be honest, though. I'm hoping to find a Gravity Blade. Let's resolve the attack. Let's go here. I don't really care to play the Baccarat right now. That's totally fine. I think we just play this and pass. I think we play the Marco because with the Marco, what we can end up doing is just applying some pressure to the Bonney. It's counter out of 1, and then they're going to swing with this one, of course. That's fine. What do we do? We could go like 6 to 6. They might block this. Okay, rest my leader, sure. That's fine. I mean, I guess I can't use this 2k counter. Not that it would have mattered, but 0, and then go here. They'll probably counter out of this. Oh, wow. They let it go. They're not going to attack with the Hawkins. They will usually attack with Hawkins, by the way. That's usually what I've noticed. We need to get rid of the Hawkins, unfortunately, unless they play like a really big body this turn. So let's go ahead and counter out of this one. What would they have for... Okay, Kid. We might be able to answer the Kid unless they have... What's his face? Rosinante blocker? They don't have Rosinante blocker. Okay. Let's go ahead and just go and swing. KO and pass. I think they should have used their Kid ability there. If they had a blocker of some sort, that would have been fine. They did have the Hawkins, which would probably guarantee that it could survive. Oh, this is so good. This is so good for us. We love seeing this. We'll go 12 here. They will rest our thing, sure. What could we possibly do for 7? 1, 2, 3, we got 7. They're gonna block this, so that's fine. Just have the Hawkins block it, it's fine. Not an issue. Get rid of both of these. Hawkins, no more. Draw 1, and pass. So now we have a fair amount of, like, defensive tools here. I guess we could go no blocker. Boom. I feel like this is a Doflamingo turn. Yeah. That's fine. They play a Doflamingo, we can pop it pretty easily. That is also fine. We'll go here. Zero targets. Ooh, another Shanks to follow up is really nice. And we leave 2 Dawn up for them to be able to like counter out of whatever they do here. It's a battle of all of the big bodies here, which is fine. Let's go here, because we just want to stop. Wait, what? Why is it not doing it? Oh my god. What? I guess I misclicked. Weird. Another one? Okay. That's unfortunate. We'll go ahead and send these 2 to the bottom. We'll go here. I guess we can go, like, here. And then here. Okay, cool. They have no cards left in hand. They might just go for game here. Yeah, it looks like they're going for game. That's fine with us. We do have to be aware that the Kid is going to be a little bit of a problem. Let's go ahead and counter out of this. No blocker. Counter out of that. And now they actually can't win the game. Why is it... What? Why are my counter events not working? Oh, he rested my Dawn. That's why. He's smart. Yeah. Now, on the flip side, we just attack into their Kid, and there's not much they can do. They did play a lot of big bodies, and when they do play one body a turn, it's really good for us because the Shanks answers a lot of that. So yeah, it was a pretty good game there. All right, against Enel. Enel's a tough one. We just have to draw as many cards as possible and then mitigate their threats. I think this is a fine hand for late game, which I think is something we want to keep in mind. We want to get to the late game, and they're going to want to get down to low life, so Kaido is really good here. So let's just go ahead and draw, and then pass. They'll probably go 8 to 5. We'll take it, and then the following turn, we'll just use our ability again, and then leave 2 Dawn up. I don't think there's any reason to throw down a body quite yet, especially if we're going to be at 4. They could just Gadatsu whatever we throw down. So we'll go ahead and use our ability and pass. And if they use anything this turn, if they throw like a body down, that's fine. If they want to go like all in and go 10 at face, that's also fine with me. I don't think that's an issue. Enel usually loves to take life, so if we can, then I think it's totally fine to go like ulti and then swing in. It's fine, we'll take it. Let's go ulti. I don't like any of these, so let's not... Oh, I guess we could get the 2K and then place these on the bottom. And then draw. Oh, perfect. Shanks is ideally what I want to see. I'd also like to see a pudding right about now as well. That'd be really nice. I would love to see a pudding here. So we're in a good spot where they can't really do much. 7, they could go like 5 at ulti. We protect it. And then go like rush Enel. They could also go like Big Mom. I think that Gravity Blade doesn't really do much, to be honest, against their deck. I think their deck is really just a lot of top end. So if there are some pieces that come out of life, like maybe a Kiku Nojo if they are running it, then, or Frankie or whatever it may be, then we can do it there. But I think that Gravity Blade will be fodder for our 0-cost event here. The only use that I can see of this is like preventing them from putting a Shirahoshi or the Hiyori back in life. But we can also just play down the Marco and get rid of the Shirahoshi or Hiyori. I'm more concerned with the Shirahoshi, of course. I don't want them to have repeat draws. So yeah, this is one of those moments that's probably pretty tough for them to figure out what to do. Because 7 Dawn is like one of the more awkward stages for Enel. Usually when they hit 8, 9, 10, it's pretty easy for them to figure out what to do. You either play Katakuri, Yamato, or Ace, right? So you have like 3 options to really do. But at 7, you could be playing a smaller body, establishing something. You could go like all in again if they really want to get me down to low life, if they're concerned. They could go after the ulti. I am not sure what their priority is though. And to be honest, it's probably going after the ulti, which I would do if I were them. If they go after the ulti and they play a body, then I think it's fine to go ahead and play Gravity Blade and get rid of the Shirahoshi and whatever body they play this next turn, unless, of course, the body is like a 7-cost body. So, we'll see. Well, 12 to 5. That's definitely interesting. I guess we'll let it go. Ay. Interesting. Hancock is not bad. Hancock's not bad. I think we just go do this, though. Hancock wasn't bad, but I don't... Like, the thing is, if you go Hancock there, what are you going to do? Prevent a Shirahoshi or a Hiyori from attacking, and then you swing 8? I don't think that's what we want to do, because then they'll just Katakuri it back into life. So, yeah. Next turn... We're going to start dropping some Kaidos here. Unless they drop like a big body, I think we can just start dropping some Kaidos. We could also keep them at 2 for a little while as well, so that they aren't getting any value off of them playing something like a Yamato, or even like... What is the Red Rock equivalent? What is this guy doing? Does he not have anything? What is going on, man? I am so lost. Do you not have any, like, what is this? What is going on? We'll just do this. I guess we go down, we could go down to 1. We could go down to 1, in fact. But I think we set up for as much as we possibly can here. Jeez Louise. It's like, I have 18 cards in hand. Like, what am I supposed to do? We'll do that. That's what we can do. We need more zero-cost events. Unfortunately, we don't have enough. Fine. What are they going to do? Go really hard here? Is it worth draw? It's not it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It never is. We could go here, right? I think this is fine to go. We want to get them to like low life totals here. We'll do this. And then we'll go again. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. We have 21 cards in hand. Like, if I can't counter out of whatever they're going to throw my way, I mean, I don't even know what's in my hand, to be honest. This is insanity. This is insanity. We have all these 2Ks. We have another 2K here. We're just moving all the 2Ks together and then moving like 1Ks. Their hand is at 9. A pudding would be really good here. Would be really good. So we could look to pudding here, if that's the case. I don't know exactly what they want to do. If they want to go like 15 at lead and get a lot of cards out of hand, they totally could. We'll go here. I don't even know if I have enough. I'm just doing it. Here, 2, and 3. Okay, we have enough. We have enough. Well, putting them, we'll give them that. We can go 5. Let's go 5 at face. Yeah, that hurts. That definitely hurts them. So they lost 4 cards, and now they have to protect their life totals, which is really nice for us. We can get them down to 0. So that their only answer is like either Yamato or this is fine. Either Yamato or Ace. And then, yeah, we're pretty much well protected with all the events we have in our hand. So I think we're fine. And then we go 12 again. And even then, even if they want to go like all in on something, which I don't know why they're doing that. I guess they just had nothing in hand. We'll do it. I honestly think that this matchup is pretty good for us. Even if like the Enel, granted, I'm sure there's somebody in the comments is going to say, oh, the Enel played really badly, but they didn't, I guess they just didn't have anything. And if you're going against Vivi, the best way, if you don't have anything that you can play on the board, the best way to just like get me down is to swing really heavy like they did. So I guess that's fine, right? Who knows? They had great triggers. I'll give them that. They had great triggers. Shirahoshi a couple times is amazing. Love to see it. Marco. What are they doing? Just is Shirahoshi your own, man. Yeah. They just play Yamato. They might have, I don't know. They had some things to learn, I suppose, but yeah, 21 cards is crazy. Anyways, yeah, Enel is a pretty interesting matchup for sure. You can usually do well if you get a pudding and then draw a bunch of stuff, so yeah. Against Yamato, this is not really a good hand to keep, to be honest. What we want is a lot of counter because they will be really aggressive towards us. Shiraya is not bad, of course. Boa Hancock is fine. I think next turn, it's okay to throw down the Shiraya, just to have the Shiraya on the field, because I don't want to get hit back-to-back. So that's fine. Ooh, they're just going to not do that? Okay. I think it's fine then to just counter out here. We don't need the ulti. We can go here. Whew, I think we just do this. And then pass. I'm okay with them using their Momos, because them using their Momos is really good for us. Actually. Is Gravity Blade good here? I don't think it is. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. And then we can pass. We'll keep the Baccarat online. And then hopefully they don't have another Onami. Onami's really scary if you don't have the counter. That's why it's really important to keep some Dawn up for counter events. You could, I suppose, have saved the Gum Gum Rain. But yeah, I think it's fine to not. What would you use Hiyori for? Well, regardless, we can actually counter out of this one. Thankfully. Oh, are they using... Okay, they're just trying to heal, I suppose. That is fine. Will we get a chance to use this? I don't think so. Cool. What do we do here? We could go like this. Have that not attack. Put that under. And then swing in. I don't know. I do like the Momos up, but getting rid of them might be a little bit troll. Yeah. We can keep healthy. I think we're in a good boat here. I guess next turn we could go like Shanks. We're not going to really get the opportunities, I guess, to play a Borsalino here, so let's go... Boom. No blocker. Boom. We just want to stay as healthy as possible here. Huh. We can do that. And then, if they decide to go Banish one more time, then we might be in a little bit of trouble. Oh, we can actually just go Kaido next turn as well. That is also... I'm fine with this. Actually, I didn't mean to do that, but it's okay. If they decide to go all in on the Shanks, I think that's also fine. Boom. Let's go. Let's just draw a bunch, and we'll pass. Yeah, it's a little awkward there that turn, because it's like, well, what are they doing? Go ahead and do this. No blocker. Boom. And I imagine this might be like a Doflamingo. This seems like a Doflamingo turn. Actually. Yeah, we can take that one. That's fine. We'll go there. We can do this. We can go here. Won't attack. 0 targets. And then swing in. And then now, we do have Rad Beam and Happiness Punch online, as opposed to the Shanks, right? It was a little bit awkward in that regard, because I didn't really know what to do. As far as, like, do we get rid of the Doflamingo? Or do we protect ourselves for this next turn? We'll go here and protect out. I think what we can do is maybe we just clear board. I think we just clear board and then just go next. Like, hopefully they don't go all in this turn and have like a Hody Jones. If they have like a Hody Jones, we still should be okay. Like if they go like 3 here, then we should be fine. That's the reason why I kept the Baccarat, by the way, because I figured, yeah, here we go. Here's Hody Jones. Here's Hody Jones. If they go for if they go for the Hancock, that's probably the best bet for them. Hopefully there's not a event here. Yeah, I was going to say if there's a zero cost event, we're in a little bit of trouble, but I think we held our own very well. The Baccarat actually put in a lot of work this game because I didn't have the counter for some of that stuff. Just being able to toss a dead card out of the way is really nice. And yeah, being able to stop the Doflamingo, huge, because if that Doflamingo was able to swing for an entire turn, I think we were in trouble. Of course, Kaido being able to refill was really, really important there. So yeah, overall, this was a very tough match, I'm not going to lie. They definitely had a lot of pressure on us, and they definitely played their cards correct, I believe. But I think with Baccarat, of course, saving the day, it was a walk in the park. No, I'm just kidding. It was anything but. So Vivi is probably design-wise one of my favorite leaders. I think red and blue is a very interesting color combination. Unfortunately, other things have definitely pushed Vivi out of the meta, but I believe that in OP07, there is a spot for Vivi that could be somewhere in between like a competitive to a local legend type of deck. I think you could probably take a lot of people by surprise. If you do come across any of the new OP07 Boa Hancocks that might cause a little bit of an issue for you. Lucci is a tough one. Lucci, you have to definitely draw your pieces on time, so it's a little tricky because Lucci is one of those decks that if they have the answers, there's just nothing you can do really. But if you do draw your own answers and get some steam and momentum ahead of their own aggression, then I think you should be fine. All the other decks in the meta though, like Bonney, Enel, Red Purple Law, I think you can handle just fine. It's of course up to the pilot to be able to beat those decks, but I think overall Vivi is a pretty good addition to the meta that I think a lot of people will be sleeping on and probably aren't considering as an actual viable leader. But hopefully you guys have a little bit of inspiration to build this deck. There's probably some changes you can make here and there. Of course, I like to test things out, so we have different ratios of different cards, but change it as you see fit. And please let me know if you decide to take Vivi to any of your locals or even into any of the online regionals or tournaments, or even if it's offline, online, whatever it may be. Any tournaments, let me know in the comments below. Would love to know how you guys do with Vivi. I think Vivi is definitely a fun deck, and I'll probably look to build her out at some point in OP07. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.